In this video, we're going to talk about how to increase your Social Security benefits and the 5 ways to go about increasing those benefits. This way you can have a better retirement. The first is that you have to know what goes into the calculation of Social Security. Payroll tax is what determines your payments. The longer and the more money you put into the system, the more you get. But here's the key factor. It's an average of your best 35 years that increases with the rate of inflation to determine that benefit. So there may have been some years where it could have been a 0 or a very low number, and they factor that into the averages. So it's very important to remember it's an average over 35 years, which we'll go into and explain how that goes in together. So let's break down how Social Security is calculated by age so that each tip will be more useful. So at age 62, you earn 70% of the full retirement benefit. So your benefits actually go to 100% when you're at age 67. So 62 at 70%, 100% at 67, but when you get to 7 years old, they give you a 124%, which is an 8% extra for every single year you can wait after the age of 70. But let's go deeper on this a little bit later because we need to go into some other parts. So now let's go through those 5 steps. The first is that your full 35 years, you need to remove as many zeros out of the math or they'll take your lowest years and it raises the averages quite a bit. If they're adding a bunch of zeros, you are in trouble. So you may have to go back and do work. Or if you went to school and you had a 0 for missing your homework, but you did 100 on a test, you still averaged a 50, still failing. The same is true with Social Security. But if you can take those dead or those low years and then raise those averages, you can actually increase the whole. So for example, if that 0 that you had because you didn't make any money one year becomes a 30, and then you add it to a good year, which was 100, you have 130, makes it a passing test. It's no different for Social Security. It's just about the averages. You need to remove the zeros from the equation. Now, the seconds are people that are higher earners. If you're a higher earner, you want to minimize your tax burden because as you earn more Social Security, there's a problem, which is that there is certain pockets that can be as high as 40.7%, and that rate's going to go to 46% in 2026 when they sunset the Tax Cut and Jobs Act. When that happens, you're going to start seeing those small pockets really start hurting you if you start taking out required minimum distributions. So this is what's called a provisional tax. It's a double tax, and it's complicated. It's not easy. And they're going to do that on your Social Security, and they'll also tax your income. So you need a good tax planner who can keep more of your benefits. So it's not just about you increasing your benefits, it's also how you learn to keep your benefit. Did I mention I was an accountant? Now the third way is also through a myth and a long-standing problem that people have when they think of working when they're receiving Social Security benefits, which is that there is a cap, which is $21,240 in 2023, and that for every $2 you earn, you actually lose $1 in Social Security benefit. Now, the myth is that you lose that money. That's not true. You only lose money for that year. But what it's doing is it's going back to the pool of all the money that you have. So yes, you do lose that $1 for every $2 that you earn up to the age of 67, but that goes to $3 for every dollar you earn over the cap of that 21,000 over the age of 67. And when you hit 70, there is no cap. Now, is this necessarily a bad thing? No, it's actually not. Look at this image from Social Security, which says it can actually help you. Now, there's only one case where it doesn't. If you've already maxed funded your Social Security account, which means that you've worked for 35 years and you've made a lot of money, first of all, you wouldn't be watching this video. But number 2 is, for most people, it actually increases future payments, which means as you increase that fund, as you're missing that benefit today, you're increasing your benefits for tomorrow. That is a huge upside. So don't be afraid of working. And that leads me into number 4, which is that delaying Social Security benefits for as long as possible while eliminating those zeros or low numbers out of those years in which you didn't work or those low numbers. And by not collecting any of those benefits, your total benefits will increase. These charts prove it. It's very, very easy to understand. The longer you wait, the more money you make, and it's also true in relation to your spouse. Their spousal benefits increase because their spousal benefit is actually in direct correlation to your benefits as a percentage. So if you've worked really hard physical jobs and you can't continue to work because it's beating you up, you might want to go back to what I said before in number 3, which is doing a hybrid retirement where you can start to work and do things which are easier. And trust me, there's all these help wanted jobs all over the place because young guys don't want to work. They need you. So this isn't breaking your back work. It's stuff that you might want to do, which can increase your Social Security. This way you won't be stuck in abject poverty as you age. And this way, now you won't have to work like you did when you were younger, but it will eliminate those no or low years where you didn't pay into the system. Now, if you look at the charts for contributions, this ties me into number 5, which is how your spouse will receive their benefits. And this is why it's so important, because the longer your spouse waits, the higher benefits they receive. Now, the maximum benefit they can receive is 50% at full retirement age. That's when they can collect. So the longer they can wait, the bigger benefit they receive. So if you guys can both wait a little bit longer, both you and your spouse will benefit. Both your benefit will go up and their benefit will go up. Now, if you want a full breakdown, if you should receive benefits at 62, 67, or 70, I want you to watch this video right now as we break down the differences.